Today we're going to be talking about a leader's role in managing childhood behaviors. And I'm sure this is something that absolutely resonates with all of you. It resonates with me, even though I'm not in childcare, as the mom of a 5-year-old and a 3-year-old. But before I get into introducing our speaker, I want to talk to you a little bit about ProCare. So ProCare provides childcare and program management software for childcare businesses, preschools, before and after school programs, camps, and other programs. So what does that look like? It includes a variety of solutions to help organizations in our industry tackle all the challenges of running a business. That's financial management, family and child records, activities and milestones tracking, lesson planning, parent communications, contactless check-in and check-out, automatic payment processing. We've been supporting the childcare business industry for a long time, so we have a lot of knowledge. And that's why we're here today, to help share some of that knowledge with you. So before we go dive in, a couple housekeeping items. You are going to receive a recording of this when it's all done. Watch for something in your email inbox probably in the next few days. And we'll also have it posted on our website in the webinar section. And we're going to have some time at the end for questions. Note that everyone will be in listen-only mode, so we do ask that you put your questions in the chat. If you're having problems with your audio, make sure you exit out of all the other software on your device. If you're using a virtual private network, that VPN, you might have better connectivity if you close out of it. And we do get a lot of questions on this. At this time, we are not able to offer certificates for this webinar. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce you to our webinar presenter today. Prerna Richards is the founder and CEO of Together We Grow, an early childhood organization that provides professional development, coaching, and consulting for parents, teachers, and administrators. She's a coach and an early childhood educational consultant. Her desire to make a difference in the lives of children has shaped her life and her career. When she came to the United States, she had a degree in interior design. And then when her daughter started preschool, she became a teacher and realized education was her passion and her calling in life. So during this webinar, she's going to give you some ideas to identify and effectively manage challenging childhood behaviors to help reduce stress in your child care center staff. And with finding and keeping teachers and staff being so difficult, we know you want to keep your team happy. So I am going to jump off the screen and hand it over. Welcome, Prerna. We are so glad you're here.
Thank you, Leah. Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining. I'm so happy that you chose this webinar to join and spend time with us. I'm going to share my screen. Let me know if you can see it.
Looks great.
Okay, cool. And Leah's keeping her camera on, and we're going to try something new. So if you guys are familiar with the ProCare webinars, we don't usually have cameras on for more than the presenters. So I'm really happy she's being flexible. This is great. And I'm so happy to see so many places coming in the chat that you're joining from. And let's dive right into it, because I know you've made time for yourself and I don't want to waste any time. So today we are talking about your role as a director, owner, or any leadership position that you have in a childcare center or a family care, or just even at home, you know, if you're having children. So what is your role? How can you support the team that is actually working with the children? That is really what our conversation is going to be about. But I am completely flexible. If you have specific questions and you want me to go there, I am happy to do that. And I can see that the welcome thing is already happening in the chat. You guys are good to go. This is what I thought we would talk about in our time together. This is a very short period of time. Keep that in mind. Like an hour, 45 minutes, 50 minutes is really short to go deep into topics. I normally spend 3 to 6 hours on these topics, and when I do staff development for each of the schools. So this is kind of I want to give you nuggets, and I want to give you something that you can use right away. As soon as the session is finished, you can use strategies that can be implemented. So we'll talk about what is challenging behaviors. We'll also talk about how can we best support the teachers that are directly working with the behaviors. And then I will leave you with practical strategies for emotional needs for your staff and children. Oh, sweet Shellen, thank you for being here. She's one of the schools that I'm coaching, and I love having Shellen because she is one of those directors and owners that is committed and showing up for her teachers. I am so proud of you. All right, so breathing. If those of you who've attended my session before, you know I'm going to start with the breathing. And I want to talk about the research behind the breathing just a little bit. Most of us have heard that breathing can de-stress us. We know that. But I want you to leave this session with one fact, the science-based fact, why we should help our young children to learn how to breathe and also introduce breathing as part of our programs. So if you are a breathing program, put it in the chat that yes, we are a breathing program. We take deep breaths. Yes, we're already doing it, or no, if you're not. And while you're doing that, I'm going to share with you the research behind it. So our brain, this modern life that we live in these days, it is packed with tension. Our nerves in our brain are tight with stress and tight with the demands on it. And the so much pressure on us that I know I shouldn't put my glasses on, because if I put them on, I start reading chats and I go sideways. So I'm just going to stay focused with my conversation, and Leah's going to keep me on track if I need to be paying attention to something. The demands on us have increased over the decades. You know this. We have to do it right for our children. And when we take a deep breath, it's almost like our nerves become more elastic and our neurons become more flexible, and we show up in the world more responsive than reactive. When you hear the word responsive and reactive, what comes to your mind? Somebody who's being a reactive person or somebody who's being a responsive person? Something coming into your mind? For me, I would say when somebody's reacting, children and adults, something happens and we have a fast, instant thought about it, a judgment about it, a reaction about it. It's impulsive. There's no pause. We are reacting to what we are seeing. So the behavior is happening, the tantrum is happening, we are reacting right there. But when we start breathing as a program, as a classroom, as children, we go from reacting to responding. And this, by the way, when I'm coaching teachers, this is one of the first strategies that I'll talk to them about. Do this one change, and you can do this. So how often to breathe? From the time they come till the time you put them to sleep, you need 2 deep breaths. And from the time you wake them up and send them home, you need 2 more deep breaths. And every time you take a deep breath is 3 deep breaths. So 4 times 3 is 12. Put it part of your schedule. If you hear your teachers, if you hear them in the hallways, and if you're sitting in your office and you hear them saying, I'm waiting for you to line up, I'm waiting for you to get in listening, I'm waiting for you to read the book, I'm waiting for my friends, that's when you know you have to breathe, because the kids have checked you out. To get them re-engaged, breathing will help. So this is my favorite book, because I'm going to give you resources. This is my all-time favorite book, Breathe Like a Bear. All families need it, all schools need it, all children need it. You can make massive difference with just introducing breathing, deep breathing, intentional breathing in your program. And so I'm going to do 2 and be creative. I'm going to share 2 right now, but you can be creative. Ask the kids, how do you want to breathe? I had the other day, the little guy said, breathe like a dinosaur. Would you like to learn how to breathe like a dinosaur? Because, okay, I see Leah nodding. Yes. I mean,
I do.
Yeah, you have a son and he's going to love this. My grandson loves it. And this is how you breathe like a dinosaur. So let's stand up, because there's also science that says when we get our feet engaged, our brain wakes up, ready to listen and learn. All right, here we go. Take a deep breath in. Wow. You know they're going to do it. All right, since I'm going to show you 3 different types of breathing. The other one is smell a flower. So pick a favorite flower. Mine happens to be gardenia. So take a deep breath of gardenia or whatever comes to your mind, and blow the petals. And then the roller coaster. This was also what was one of the children told me about. So here's how you do the roller coaster breathing. Join me. There you go. So have fun with it, get creative with it, ask the children how they want to breathe, and anything they say, you just want to say, show me how. So whatever the hand is doing, the breath goes in. This is one of the first strategies I give the programs, and they have seen a change in 1 month. 1 month of just doing nothing else, behaviors are reducing in intensity and frequency. Intensity and frequency. I'm going to say that again, just by breathing, just one change. All right. What do you think about this statement? What is the most important to you about your role? Like, what is the most important part of your role as a leader, owner, director, whatever your title is? What is your most important job, part of your position? Leah, do you want to take a stab? What could it be?
Oh, nurturing. It's such a long list. I mean, it's hard. I mean, even as a parent, like looking, oh, we've got somebody using conscious discipline. Yeah, all the things you all have to do in a day.
So conscious discipline, I'm thankful that you're mentioning that, because everything that I'm talking about is infused with conscious discipline. I have drunk the Kool-Aid. I am in it. I believe it. I'm going to preach it. It matters. The understanding the brain, that's what we're talking about today. So beautiful answers are coming in. And Leah, you said nurturing. I would add one more to it. My top reason why adults, any role, any parent, leader, teacher, I don't care what your title is, the biggest job, the most important job that we have as adults for young children is helping their brain to get wired the right way. We are brain architects. I want early childhood educators to become brain architects. I want us to become aware of the impact that we have, our communication, our relationship, our impact on young developing brains. Because for those of us who already know this, I'm going to remind us again, 90% of the brain is getting wired birth to 5. Think about that. 90% of the brain is getting wired birth to 5. The adult that we become, the foundation was laid during our first 5 years. If we are problem solvers, if we are risk takers, if we are tenacious, if we are persistent, if we are optimistic, if we are positive, if we outgoing, or if we are insecure, or if we are anxious, we avoid risk, or if we are nervous easily, the personality that we have today was set when we had no control over it. I don't know who wired my brain other than my family, but I'm grateful to them. They must have done something good. I'm doing okay. So this is important. Birth to 5 is the foundation, and this is why what we do matters. This is more than anything else in the world. And I have an amazing talk that I love. And if some of you have attended my session before, you may have heard this talk, but I love it so much that I'm going to keep telling the world about it. This sweet girl from Australia, Molly, let's listen to her talk about the brain.
What if I was to tell you that a game of peekaboo could change the world? Sounds impossible, right? Well, I'm here today to prove it's not. Hi, I'm Molly, and I'm 7, and this is my little friend Ari. Say hi, Ari. Hi. Oh, and this is my neighbour, Amajot. He has to take Ari away now to get ready for our experiment. But don't worry, they'll be back. My talk today is about some powerful things you grown-ups can do that shape us as children and the adults we become. How do I know? Because my parents and people around me did them, early and often. I know not all kids are as lucky. Some of my friends, some kids at my school, and many around the world. And I would really like to help change that. Thanks to scientists, we now know just how important the first 5 years are for our health and development, especially our brains. Ari started learning long before he was even born, from inside his mummy's tummy. When Ari was born, he was tiny, and he cried all the time. He was always hungry, and he pooped a lot. Now, he laughs and giggles and makes funny noises. But those are just the changes we hear and see. There's way more going on inside. So, let's talk more about our brains. The blue bag is the rough size and weight of a healthy baby's brain at birth. The red one is a baby's brain after the first year. It almost doubles in volume. And by my age, it's almost 90% the volume of an adult brain. Our brains develop faster in our early years than at any other time in our lives. It can create up to 1 million neural connections every second. But we need your help. Our healthy development depends on these top 5 things. 1, connecting. 2, talking. 3, playing. 4, a healthy home. 5, community. All of this helps our brains and us reach our full potential. So what's something you can do that can really make a difference? Scientists call it serve and return. That's just a grown-up way of saying connect, talk, and play with us. And here's the really big news. Amajot, Ari, you ready?
Ready?
Copycat games build imagination and empathy.
And
Naming games build vocabulary and attention.
is it Daddy? Ari! Daddy? Ari!
And games like Peekaboo, yep, Peekaboo, actually build memory and trust. Each time you talk to us, play with us, make us laugh, it not only builds and strengthens our relationships and mental health, it actually teaches us some of the most important life skills. From making friends, to taking a test, to getting a job, to one day maybe even starting a family of our own. Interactions early and often matter. Take it from me, the 7-year-old up here, talking about brain science. Okay, now, let's see what happens when the connection is taken away. So now he's trying to get his dad's attention again. He's reaching out like, that was fun, why have you stopped? I know it's important for adults to use their devices sometimes, but kids are hardwired to seek out meaningful connections. Not receiving them causes confusion and stress. Okay, Amajot, please re-engage.
Ari!
Now, what if a whole childhood was like that last 30 seconds? How hard it would be for a child to feel calm, to feel safe, to learn to trust anyone, and the lifelong impact that would have. That makes me feel sad. Ari only reacted the way he did and recovered so quickly because the connection between him and his dad is usually so strong. The positive relationships with the grown-ups in our lives gives kids the confidence we need to try new things, to explore, and be a kid. So please try and remember, the most special period for our development is the first 5 years, starting from inside Mummy's tummy. What's something really impactful you can do? Serve and return. And when? Early and often. Please give it up for Amajot and Ari. moment together is an opportunity to connect, talk, and play. Imagine the difference we could make if everyone everywhere did this. To us, to children, it's so much more than just a game. It's our future. Thank you. See? Peekaboo really can change the world.
Yes, thank you, Sheldon, for saying you're sharing it with your CDA class. I am happy to share this link with ProCare. Leah, if you remind me, I will send it to you, and when you send out the recording, you can, easily share it with everybody. And
Absolutely.
I'm happy yeah, because more parents need it, more children, the teachers need it, everybody needs it, and we should get the word out how important. Oh, look, Tina's already on it. Thanks, Tina. This is called teamwork. I love it. So just capture it from there and good to go. This is how it is. All right. So she mentioned lots of things, and she mentioned, mental health. She mentioned calm. She mentions trust, and which leads, and feel free to put in the chat what spoke to you, but because of the interest of time, I'm going to keep the conversation flowing, but I am curious to know what touched you and what spoke to you from the video. So put it in the chat. But I want to switch gears to the topic that you have signed up for, which is clearly something that is needed in our programs. How would you define challenging behaviors? So I know you signed up for a session that said leaders' role in childhood behaviors. We're talking about the challenging ones, but I'm curious to know, how would you personally, whoever's listening, how would you personally define challenging behaviors? So Leah, since you are my only person who's talking to me, how would you define challenging behaviors?
I would define it as this morning when my 3-year-old did not want to put on his pants.
So doing what he wants to do.
Doing what he wants to do, and we're trying to get to school on time. And yeah, that's when things get most challenging at our house, or just like, can you just do this for me, please?
Yeah,
and
just listen.
The answer is no.
Listen.
Yes, just is that all? That's all.
Don't want that lot. Yeah, just listen.
Yeah.
Just follow my instructions, follow the rules, and we'll be so happy. Life will be just going right along. Yeah, when you're trying to redirect them, when they're not listening, when they're talking back, when they're being disrespectful, when they're, as they get older, they become sassy pants, and, all of these, we can also, yeah, exactly. So all of these various different things become challenging because that adult at that moment is being challenged by it. That's a trigger for the adult. And so that's why the word challenging behavior looks different for different people. Yes, they want independence. Yes, they want autonomy. Yes, they want control. Yes, they have bio needs. And yes, it's an unmet need. All of that is true. But have you noticed that some people will get triggered with this and some people will get triggered with this? For example, I know I can talk about me, being disrespectful. I have 3 grandchildren now. Any one of them, if they're disrespectful, I get triggered. I'm like, that's not okay. You can't talk to adults like that. That is not okay. Or not listening is another one, right? Some people will get triggered for different things. And so it becomes a challenge for the adult. And children, I have to give them this. Children are capable and intelligent and super smart. They have our number before we have their number. Like seriously, they come into this world before they're 2, and a lot of the behaviors I'm noticing is becoming younger and younger. They haven't even become 2 yet. And the pushbacks are happening, and the power struggles are happening, and the screaming and the biting and the spitting and hitting is happening. And they figure out very quickly, I can do this with this adult and get away with it. I can do this with this adult and get away with it. And I can do, and they flex their style. Have you noticed that? They sure do flex their style. Because, the same school, they'll act different in this classroom, with this teacher and this leader. So why do children misbehave? For 1,000 million reasons. Bio needs, emotional needs, all the reasons that we just mentioned. They want autonomy, they want control, all of these things. They just want what they want, right? So they're doing it because it's working. I'm going to say it again. They're doing it because it's working. I have a grandson who triggers his mother only, my daughter. So he's completely different with her than he is with anybody else. He will scream bloody murder if he doesn't get what he wants from her. And she knows it. Her husband knows it. We all know it. And she's just like, I'm so exhausted with this. I don't know how to tell him that this is not the way to communicate with me. And the thing that I keep trying to help her with, because she keeps saying, I know, because she's heard me talk all the time. So she knows all this information, right? I keep trying to tell her, the longer you're going to keep getting triggered in the moment, the longer it's going to become a losing battle. You have to recognize that you're getting triggered. You have to recognize that you have to take a deep breath and you have to take care of you first. And, first we have to control this before we can help them. So here's the reason this is important is because many of us are facing shortage of staff right now. The revolving door is connected to the behaviors that are happening in your classrooms. I cannot stress that enough. You are losing parents sometimes. Some parents are pulling their kids out. You're disenrolling family because their child is out of control. That's lost money. And that's somebody going out into the field and telling, don't go there. They don't know what they're doing. The word gets out, right? So it's financial burden. Every time you have to hire somebody, you have to retrain them, do the in-service, the cycle continues, and the stress level is so high. The stress level for the children and for the adult is so high. And it is everybody's problem. It's you as a leader's problem, the teacher's problem, the parent's problem, but most of all, that child's needs are not met and they haven't learned a better way. They haven't learned how to get their needs met, and so it's escalating. And remember that birth to 5, that's the adult they're going to become. Keep that in mind. They're going to go through life not knowing how to regulate, right? So 5 main factors could be contributing to behaviors in your program. And these are big buckets. And again, when I do 3 to 6 hour sessions, I break it down for your school and we look at it closely. What could be happening in these 5 things in your program is a great place to do a SWOT analysis. Have you heard of the SWOT? The strength, weakness, opportunities, and threats. It's a SWOT, S-W-O-T. Do a SWOT for your program. Get whoever you want on the table. Don't bring them just with their titles. Bring whoever is invested in your program to the table. What are we doing really well? What are our threats and what are our missed opportunities? So strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats, SWOT, S-W-O-T. Look at these 5 things specifically as you're doing your SWOT. In your environment, is your classroom environment too overwhelming? Is it too much posted on the wall? I was doing a TRS visit yesterday, and in this family home, every single little space was covered, plastered with something. Children who have sensory needs, that's overload. Or is your environment not organized or clean, or things don't belong in a space? I was in a classroom, the toddler classroom, and the toys were everywhere. There was no system. There was no point that there was anything. We put it back. There's no teachable moment happening. So environments, the lighting, the sound, the actual environment could be triggering some children. The curriculum, I'm going to go there. Is your curriculum age appropriate? Are you using a canned curriculum? Do you have control over it? Can you be flexible? Is it play-based? Because we know children learn through play, but the excuse I keep hearing is parents want a piece of paper. Well, let's educate the parents, because this is not good for our children. So that could be the pushback too. Curriculum is not engaging or over challenging or just not age appropriate. So we have to flex it. Schedules. This was something that we looked at very closely as soon as I started coaching, because if the schedule is too choppy, if you're moving the kids every 30, 45 minutes, you're not allowing time for deep play. You're keeping them on a tight schedule. And I have to remind everyone that children's pace is much slower than adult pace. So look at your schedules. If there's too many transitions, if there's too much open time, if there's too much movement, the longer you want to give them center time, you want to allow for at least 45 to 1 hour so that they can go deeper and play. I do a whole session on play and I do a whole session on brain. So I'm trying to really keep it so tight right now. Social climate. This is your actual climate within your staff and your parents, the adults. That's what I'm talking about. Are people gossiping? Are people complaining? Are people in a positive mindset? Are people showing up because they want to be there? They're socially, emotionally, mentally, physically invested in your program. If they're not socially, emotionally invested in your program and they're just physically invested in your program, they are not supporting. Your ship is sinking. You have a hole in your ship. You have to address them, and don't lead from a place of fear. Don't lead from a place of fear. Supporting your team. Are you showing up for them? Are you doing classroom observations? Are you giving feedback? Are you available? How are you showing up as a leader to support your team so the revolving door can stop? I know I went really fast with these 5 factors, but these are kind of the 5 pillars that trigger the behavior. Remember, behavior is a form of communication. Behavior is not the symptom. Behavior is a form of communication. If you're seeing extreme behaviors in your classrooms, there is a problem. Don't ignore it. And sometimes it's that classroom or that hallway, because there's always somebody good in every school, right? So what do teachers need to know to set up all children for success? First of all, they really need to understand themselves and their triggers. I touched on it very briefly. Knowing that I get triggered with disrespect and not listening, I need to know that. So the next time somebody's being disrespectful and not listening to me, I need to know how I can manage and be responsive and not reactive. So they need to understand brain development. If you have not done in-service with brain development, you have got to change that. As you're planning for your next school year, get somebody for your team who can talk about brain development, because everything that's happening outside is coming from a place inside. And if we can understand that, we can support what's happening outside. Behavior is a form of communication, not a symptom. What brain state are they in and what are they trying to communicate has to be unpacked. Do they understand? Do your students, and this is how you will know if the students in that classroom that you're having challenging behaviors, do those students know what the expectation is from the teacher? So let me break it down. I'm going to go with the cleanup because cleanup is classic. Everybody does it. There's no controversy over cleanup. We all sing the song. We all do the cleanup. We're all expected to do it, right? What does cleanup look like, sound like, feel like? I'm going to add these 3 words to it. What does it look like, sound like, feel like? If that is clear to the students, the behavior will show us that they know what cleanup should look like. Cleanup should look like everybody's on task. Everybody in this community, in this school family is helping. No matter if you're 2, no matter if you're 5, you are on task and you're helping. That's what cleanup should look like. What does it sound like? Everybody's busy. There's no noises happening. There's no play. There's no extra noises because you're not distracted. You are on task and the noises should be putting things away and getting feet walking and picking up stuff, right? And the last one, feel like. It should feel like a community. It should feel like we are doing this together. It should feel like this is our classroom. Quite often, teachers are the one cleaning up. Quite often, it's just 1 or 2, 3 kids helping and the others continue playing. And that's okay because there's no consequence. That's okay because they never get called for it. And the teachers will quite often say to me, Prerna, we talk about it all the time. We talk about, what do you want us to do? I want you to use it like a teachable moment that it is. Cleanup is not busy work. Cleanup is matching. Cleanup is responsibility. Cleanup is accountability. Cleanup is taking ownership. Cleanup is, putting things, knowing where they belong. Cleanup is matching pictures and objects. That's a teachable moment, but we're rushing over it. The other thing about what it should sound like, feel like, and look like, you can do that for anything. What does transition look like, sound like, feel like? What does circle look like, sound like, feel like, right? Where are the behaviors happening? What are your trigger points? What time of the day? Start looking at your accident incident reports. Start looking for patterns. Which classroom, which teacher, what day? Not to do the blame game, but looking at it to see what am I missing and where is the pattern and how can I help this teacher? And then really, I'll talk a little bit more about this behavior being a symptom and not a cause. So a symptom could be, well, we were having storms here. I'm in Texas. So a symptom is it was raining heavy and the winds were strong. That was a symptom, right? But the cause was that there was a tornado coming. So behavior is a symptom, not the cause, if that makes sense. I had a friend who was allergic. She was like having migraines. She went to all the doctors. They couldn't figure out what was wrong with her. That was a symptom. Migraine is a symptom. The cause turned out to be that she's allergic to chocolate. Leah's, I'm like, yes, I know she should, yeah.
Your poor friend, of all the things to be allergic to.
I know, and her thing was chocolate and coffee. I still can't get over it. And she was just like, I don't know whether to cry or to laugh because now I know what's causing it, but now I know what's causing it.
I would cry. I would cry.
I know, I'm like right there with you. And we get Swiss chocolate. My younger daughter is in Switzerland. So I'm always sharing Swiss chocolate with her. So can't do that anymore. All right. We need to know, do your teachers understand the difference between when they're reacting to when they are responding? And do they understand how self-regulation is a tool that we need to teach our children? I'm not hearing the vocabulary in our classrooms that let's self-regulate. I'll give you an example. There's a school that I'm coaching right now. She's in Wisconsin, and I love this teacher, and I'm using her as an example because I've been coaching her every Friday, and she's sharing with me some of the strategies that she's using. And this one was so powerful. She has now started introducing this vocabulary of self-regulation to her students. Okay, self-regulation means that when you are feeling something, you want to be in tune with your body. She started having words like, where in your body do you feel it? Can you show me where in your body do you feel something? Are you angry? Are you sad? Are you happy? Where in your body are you feeling it? Are you feeling it in your head? Are you feeling it in your shoulders? Are you feeling it in your tummy? She's had this conversation so often that now the children go up to her and say, I'm going to take her name, so I'm just going to call her Miss Anne. So don't go looking for her. And, they come up to her and says, my tummy feels tight. I need to go put the headphones on. It's too loud for me. Great. That is self-regulation in action. Don't we want our children to leave our preschool with the knowledge that they can control how they're feeling? I'm angry. I want to stamp something. Great. Let's stamp the floor. You now have identified how you're feeling and where in your body you're feeling it. Let's show you how to do it properly. So this self-regulation, impulse control, self-control, these are words we want to hear in our classrooms. If you're not hearing them, make sure we give the teachers tools so they can do this all in a game. Biting, hitting, spitting, all of those are extreme behaviors, but they are symptoms. That is not the cause. So the cause could be coming, and I know in interest of time, I'm going to run through it. So I'm going to move it along. These 5 F's are the survival brain. So when we fight with our words, fighting can be hitting, kicking. When we flight, when we run off, when you have runners, when you can't catch them and they get out of your building, get out of your classroom, just cannot catch them. Or frightened, they look frightened, they cover their faces, they don't make eye contact, they cry easily, they have a petted lip, or they just freeze. There's just nothing, there's nobody home. They just stare at you blankly, or they start telling you little white lies. All of that is showing you that they are in their scared brain. They're in their nervous brain. They're in their survival brain. They are nervous and scared. The survival brain has one purpose. From the time we're born till the time we're on this earth, the survival brain keeps us safe, period, done. It just keeps us safe. If I feel scared, if I feel threatened, if I feel insecure, I am in my survival brain immediately. It's not a thinking, it's a reaction, it's a chemical reaction. I'm gushed with hormones of fight or flight and the other 3 F's. So understanding that this is a survival brain, then you need to know how to help it. right? It's no good just knowing. I want to give you strategies how to help it. So if you see the 5 F's showing up and you've already been breathing, don't just breathe when the behavior happens. I'm going to say that again. Breathe throughout the day so you have a ramp before it goes from 0 to 100. The more you breathe, the ramp goes slowly. You don't go from 0 to 100. The children don't go 0 to 100. They go from 0 to 80, 0 to 50. The intensity comes down, the frequency comes down. I promise you, I've tried this in so many classrooms. So speaking in a very low and calm voice, because you know this child is already scared and triggered, in a very soft voice, you have to say, "You're safe. I'm here to help you." Keep repeating it. "You're safe. I'm here to help you." I've done this with children in the middle of a tantrum, full on, but that could also be emotional brain. So you have to learn to differentiate. And the more you do it, the more you practice, the more you become a detective, you can separate it. Is this survival? Is this child scared? Or is this child emotional? Right? So then breathing and saying, and if they allow you, would you like a hug? Giving them, rubbing their back, giving them comfort. This looks different. So the emotional brain tantrums are different. If you say to yourself, you're just doing that to get attention. If you're saying to anything, you're just doing that to get attention, that's just attention seeking. Bingo, they're in the emotional brain. Attention seeking behavior is a relationship seeking need. I'll say it again. Attention seeking behavior is a relationship seeking need. They're feeling disconnected and they're going to scream, like I was telling you about my grandson. He screams bloody murder because he wants to be seen and heard and understood in that moment. If they are not feeling seen, heard, and understood, they're going to keep screaming at you. But here's what the adults do. Here's what very often teachers and parents will do. They see a child having a tantrum and they know it's for attention and they just say, okay, I'm just going to give you some time. I'm just going to do my thing. When you're done, I'll come talk to you. Guess what? The emotional brain wants to be seen and heard and you've just turned your back. You have just now escalated it. Now you've sent them to the second peak. And this is exactly when they start throwing things and the more they start throwing and the more destruction that happens or the spitting that happens. The spitting is attention seeking because every time they spit, they get your attention. You start talking to them. Every time they bite, they get their attention. So, definitely not encouraging this. I don't want to get anybody the wrong idea. We're not encouraging bad behavior. So allowing, putting a barrier. I can't allow you to hit anyone. I know you're frustrated, but I can't allow you to hit and pinch and spit. That is not okay. We're still correcting them, but we're acknowledging the emotion. You look frustrated. You look irritated. You really wanted that. I understand. Just this word, I understand, is powerful. It's very powerful. All right. Anything I need to be watching because I'm not looking at the chat? Yeah, I'm keeping an eye on you. So keeping an eye on the time. Are we okay?
I think we're okay. It's
okay. Keep
in
going.
Denver, it's 11:45. So I think we've got some time and we'll just leave a couple minutes at the end for questions.
Well, I haven't got to the nuggets yet. This is where the nuggets is. These are the strategies that if they're in the emotional brain. So I told you the strategies for the survival brain. This is if they're in emotional brain. And guess what? 80% of the behaviors are coming from the emotional brain. This is it. This is it. All the acting out that's happening is happening because I don't feel seen. I don't feel heard. I don't feel understood. And guess what? It happens to your teachers too. This is a teacher who walks in constantly, I'm so tired. I'm so busy. Oh, I can. She just wants to be acknowledged. And you just need to say, you look tired. Done. She won't repeat it again. She just wants to be heard. We just want to be heard. Okay. These are the strategies for the emotional brain. And I promised you that you will leave this webinar with practical strategies that you can take back to your programs. So the first one is the concept of emotional banks. Very simply put, how full our emotional bank is, we are feeling seen and heard and understood, is directly depositing into our need as a human being that we want to be seen, heard, loved, respected, valued, appreciated. I mean, the list is long as human beings. We want all this and a bag of chips, right? We want it all. So if we're getting those needs met from the people in our lives, our personal life and our professional life, then our emotional bank is full. If we feel valued, appreciated, respected, understood, heard, seen for who we are, we go through life with a regulated brain. There are no bad kids, there are dysregulated brains. And the dysregulated brains are getting worse by the minute. Sorry to say, newsflash, but the more fast-paced our society gets, the more demands we put on ourselves. We were never designed to live like this. We were never designed with the avalanche of information and avalanche. Like, it's very stressful. So this emotional bank is so big. It shows up in people around you. It shows up in teenagers. It shows up in your employees. It shows up in your marriage. It shows up everywhere. If your emotional needs are not met, you will go through life dysregulated, making a noise, trying to get your needs met. This is a good book for it. Have you filled your bucket today? This is a great book for staff meeting. If you have gossiping going on, I have used this for staff meetings, and we've talked about how you can be a bucket filler and bucket dipper. When you're gossiping and complaining, you're being a bucket dipper. You're not being a bucket filler. So do that with the kids, do that with, and then at the end of the day, you can have conversations. These are types of conversations that you can have. Track it. I did this with my granddaughter, had the buckets. And before she would go home, I was homeschooling her when I did this. Before she would go home, I would say, what filled your bucket today and what emptied your bucket today? And she would tell me, when you listened to me, when you played with me, you filled my bucket. So the listening is powerful. So I can go with that. When you don't listen to me, you're dipping into my bucket too, because remember, that's my trigger. So yeah, you're not listening, you're dipping into my bucket too. Do it as a family. I would encourage you to do this. Have you filled your bucket as a family? And at the end of the day, dinner table, talk about what filled your bucket, what dipped into your bucket. Right from early age, right before they turn 3, start having the brain conversation with children. It's very empowering that your brain can control your impulses. My impulse is to punch you, but my brain is stronger than my impulse. I can stop myself. That's impulse control. That's self-control right there. Okay, the other one is having some kind of a connecting ritual. When you see them, especially the ones that are the ones who are giving you gray hair and stress in your life. You know the ones I'm talking about. If you have those children who are always in your office, if you're a leader director, they're always in your office or in your classroom and they're triggering you, that is the child who needs to know that you love that child. You're constantly checking on them anyway. Like, where is Jonathan? Where is Zach? Where? You're keeping your eye on them, but call it out. If they're on task, call it out. Zach, way to go. You're on the blocks building. I love it. So you flip the script. You flip the script. Instead of giving them attention when they're off task, you start giving them attention when they're on task. Cheer them. Have a little ritual of connecting. Give a thumbs up, give an elbow bump, give a high five, just so that they can know that you are seeing them. Because remember, they're doing it to be seen. So catch them doing good instead of waiting for them to do bad. But we don't do that. We just keep calling them, don't do that, don't do this. They go through life thinking that's the only way you look at me. So I'll hit, I'll bite, I'll spit, because at least you look at me. By the way, you know this. Children don't care if it's negative attention or positive as long as it's attention. Dogs, by the way, are the same. So structured choices is the third one. These, by the way, are science research-based strategies. And if you're listening to this and you're feeling like, oh my God, this is a lot, how will I do this? Start with one, work your way on. Start with one for 1 week, add another one, add another one. And the goal being that you do all consistently. And that's when you'll see the behaviors turning. This, by the way, I go deeper when I'm coaching. I break it apart. So I apologize if I'm going so fast, so quickly. Structured choices is real choices where the children can actually express their voice, where the children can actually share how they're feeling and how they're thinking. I just saw the comment that says asking for the slideshow. Yes, if you email me, I will be happy to get them to you. And they can, ProCare can share my email. I don't send it out to everybody because everybody doesn't need it and I don't want to clog up your inbox, but if you need it, email me and I'll get it to you. Okay, so structured choices is where they can actually express their voice. Do you want to wear the red shirt or the blue shirt? I really don't care. Like in your son's case this morning, you just wanted him to put pants on. I don't think you cared if it was blue, green, red, right? It doesn't matter.
Or polka dots or
Yeah,
stripes or
yeah,
anything.
yeah.
Anything.
Yeah, that giving of a choice is very powerful. My granddaughter, who's 9, she was sleeping over the other day and she didn't want to get off the bed. She was just, I had to take her to school, so she didn't want to get off. And I was like, okay, you have a choice to make. You can get off the bed from that side, or you can get off the bed from this side, but let's go to. And immediately she felt in control. And she was like, okay, I want to get off from this side. Done. The power struggle was gone. And I was in the moment reminded, I'm like, okay, this still works at 9. Keep it going. Okay. All right. Then the next thing is describe the behavior, label the emotion. This is very powerful. Don't skim on it. Guess why? Because they want to be seen and heard. So if you can say, you look really mad, you look really sad, you look really frustrated, you look irritated, and you're stomping your feet and you're doing this, asking for clarification. Are you mad? So that, because again, it's a chance for them to tell you so their voice can be heard, right? So are you mad? So we sometimes say you look this, but we don't ask for clarification. Again, another chance to be heard and understood. Magical sentence. Write this down somewhere big. It'll help you because remember, most of the behaviors are coming from the emotional brain. This is the magical sentence. I see you. I hear you. I understand you. And if you want to throw love, you can, but at least say three things. I see, I hear, I understand, but I don't like what you're doing. You're calling it out. You're going to call out the behavior. That is not a way to communicate with me. I see what you're doing. I see you're screaming. I see that you're having a no to everything. I see that you're not following directions. I don't appreciate that right now. I don't appreciate, I'm seeing it. So calling it out is magical sentence. Why? Because attention-seeking behavior is a relationship-seeking need, wanting to be seen and heard. So if I can just start framing this in this sentence, I see you, I hear you, I understand you, I get it. I have done this with my grandson. He was 16 months at the time. And he was wanting that particular spoon and I wasn't giving it. And he was doing this. He was so angry. I'm like, you're 14 months old. Why are you so angry? Like, what is wrong with you? Why are you so angry? He was doing this with his hands. He's like, ugh. I'm like, I know you want it. I get it. I see you doing this. I see that you want the blue spoon, but you can't have it because it's in the dishwasher, baby. I can't give it to you. I'm like opening the dishwasher and showing it. And then it got less. She's like, okay, she gets it. Okay, she gets it. I'm like, I know, I get it. I get it. If I could help you, I would help you right there. All right. So this is my QR code. If you want to go to my website, this is my website. You can email me from there. You can use your phone. I have a YouTube channel on Brain. I have other resources. Join the social media community, and I'm posting stuff on all the time for stuff. One more thing I want to show you to be heard and to be understood. Anytime a child is very upset, start documenting. Just start writing. Just start writing down what you're hearing. I have done this all the time if I can get time. It doesn't matter. Okay, tell me more. Okay, so that happened. They didn't share. Oh, okay, tell me more. I'm gonna write it down. Word for word, write it down. It is the most impactful thing you can do as a leader because they are going to feel seen and heard, and they can reduce the intensity and frequency because they don't have to scream on top of their lungs. Even with your son, when he was upset, I would just start writing. Okay, so you're really upset about not wanting to wear this. I see, I understand. I'm writing this all down. What else do you want me to write down? And it immediately flips it. Very interesting. I'm going to stop my share so you can ask questions. I know I spoke really fast. I apologize.
Oh, no, it's great. Are you able to see me, right?
I can see you. Can you see me?
I can.
Okay,
just
cool.
1 second, everybody. I'm going to share screen real fast.
And if you have any questions, let us know. And if you're looking for in-service for your program, reach out to me. I'd love to come and do this for you, for your team, and go in depth. And if you're looking for coaching, I offer that too. So yeah, reach out. Don't be shy.
Apologies, everybody. My tech is showing not very great here. One question that did pop up is, do you have any advice for children who are biting other than shadowing?
Yeah, so biting is coming for several reasons. Biting can come because I don't have language. Biting can come because I'm frustrated. Biting can come because the other person didn't understand. I was trying to play and I was sharing, whatever the situation is. So again, acknowledging and having a hand barrier. I had a toddler that I'm supporting with the mom, and he bites the mom. Like, she has bruises. And during the coaching, she was showing me the bruises. And what we had to really do was really knowing that when he was going in for it, to create a separation. Like, don't just be the sitting duck. Like, if you know it's coming, you can move the hand, you can keep it separate. Also, sometimes biters in classrooms bite the same children. See, so keep that child and that child apart, because there's a trigger, something happens. And so keeping them separate, keeping a barrier, putting a hand very gently, putting boundaries and saying, I can allow you to bite. You can bite on something else. You can chew on, because sometimes, it's also language, right? So if they need language, in Texas, we have ECI, birth to 3, get them involved. So if there's something else going on, get the experts involved earlier, sooner than better. Because once they've turned 3 in Texas, at least they go to ISD, which is a massive red tape. Well, I see a whole bunch of you are putting your email addresses.
Yeah.
I'm hoping that somebody on the ProCare will get them to me, and I will get the PowerPoint to you, and we'll take care of you.
We'll send a recording to everybody who registered in a couple days. So we got you covered.
There you go.
I was going to say that. And I wanted to close by wishing Prerna a happy birthday, which many of you already did kindly in the chat. And yes, watch your email probably in a couple days. We'll get all that info to you. We had a lot of people saying it was a great refresher and things. It was a very, very informational.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Oh my God, all this love. Thank you so much. If you wouldn't mind recording the chat and then even sending me the chat, that way I can also get some of these email addresses and get them to them as well. But I know your team is a pro and they will take care of the people who want it. Thank you guys. You guys made my day. When Leah reached out and she said, we're doing this on the 6th, I'm like, it's my birthday, but what other better way to spend my birthday than doing what I love to do?
And I did want to tell you as a heads up that Prerna was a guest on ProCare's The Child Care Business podcast a few months ago. And she was also talking about brain development there and the effects of stress. So if you want to listen to that, I mean, the easiest way to find it is going to be to search Child Care Business Podcast on your Apple podcast app or wherever you get your podcast. But she was also great on that one. So I'd recommend you take a listen.
Thank you. Maybe I'll come back again. Maybe if you'll invite me, I'll be back.
I hope so. We love you. We love you here at ProCare.
We love ProCare. I've had ProCare in my schools forever, since Hawaii. I mean, we love ProCare. Yes.
Very good. And as you can see on your screen, scan the QR code and we'll get you hooked up with a free demo if you don't have it. Thanks again, Prerna. We hope you all have a fantastic day. Until next time.
Take care. Bye.
Bye.